everyone. Welcome to the Learn With Me stream. My name is Ashley Goldstein, and I am a developer advocate for NVIDIA Omniverse. I do this stream twice a week on Monday and Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And what I do in this stream is a couple of things. I first started it as a way to learn Omniverse with the community, to set aside time to explore parts that I wasn't familiar with. And the community has been so great at helping others. I was like, what better way to learn Omniverse than with people who are so good at teaching it as well? And now it's evolved into something where maybe I'm familiar with it and I'm exploring something new, or I'm teaching you something that I've recently discovered myself. And the great thing about watching this live is that you can interact with me in the chat. So if you see something that I'm stuck with and you might have a way to push me forward, you're more than welcome to put it in the chat. Or if you have questions, you can put it in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. But yeah, before we get started for what I want to show you all today, I have my normal housekeeping, which is what you see here on the screen. So let me stretch this out a little bit so you can read it better. I share this at the top of every live stream, and it's just a way to keep me from spamming the chat because there's lots of different resources that I share with you throughout the live stream. And also a way for, if you're watching this at a later time, to not miss out on anything I am sharing. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it is as a link here in the description of the video. If you're watching it on X, unfortunately, I can't post any comments to X. So I am going to post this link for this resource in the chat, but unfortunately on X at this time, it's not going to show up. So you'd have to go to Twitch or you'd have to go to YouTube to find the link. Put it in there for you guys. And basically what is on this, the first page, I try to keep the same. It's essentials. It only changes when something essential changes or some kind of announcement needs to be made. There is the GTC announcements. I've still kept them up there. So if you missed anything that was GTC keynote Omniverse related that Jensen announced, you can go to the forums and find that post. But really what I want to showcase is, for one, this calendar. If you do not have this calendar added to your calendar, then you might be missing out on some really cool community events like my live streams, Eric's live streams when he puts them up there, the community ones that are happening every Wednesday after mine, any kind of like jam if we do a developer jam or hackathons in the future. So these will all be posted, and if you add it to your calendar, you get notified when they're happening. So that is really great, and that is on the first page. Then on the second page, I have the reference links. So anything I've talked about, like a documentation page, a YouTube video, a DLI course, any of those are going to be on the second page under reference links. And I've tried to keep them underneath the topic for what I'm talking about. Like today, I'm going to be talking about web streaming, and there is a whole sample package that you can go to. So if you follow this link, I'm going to be showing you how you can use some of this. These are some of the sample packages that I taught at GTC. So if you were in person at GTC and you either attended my course or unfortunately missed my course, here are some of the sample packages from it, but it is also going to be a DLI public course very soon. We're getting that ready to be published. So all of this will be like put in as like a step-by-step tutorial. Right now it's just kind of the packages for it, like installing it and running it, and not really the step-by-step on teaching you how to do it. But I wanted to show this video today so that when that DLI is published, you're already ramped up and ready to go. Or if you're just wanting to look at the sample content, you know how to install it. So I'm showing that today. We're going to be leveraging ActionGraph to make that web streaming sample running and working with buttons. And yeah, so let's do that. That's my housekeeping. Let's move on to the actual content itself. All right, let me minimize my browser. I have Omniverse open. I see Zia in the chat. Hey, Zia. I'm going to move my face more to the corner. And I'm going to actually, so let me bring the browser back up. So in this, what I'm going to be downloading, and I'll do it exact like from the actual downloaded content itself. I'm going to be downloading the Composer Streamer settings. Now, the reason that this is something you'll want to do rather than just go to Omniverse, download the reference application, and work from there is because this will ensure that you have all of the proper settings to run the sample. These extensions are available in our reference applications and in Omniverse Kit. But just if you download just this one here, you have all the extensions and you have all the proper settings to run the bag asset if you're wanting to view that. So I'm just going to be using that. And then this kit streaming sample, this is like a repository. So it has all of the React components, the JavaScript files, the TypeScript files that you need to run the web application, which is running off a React library. So we'll be using that. I'll show you how to use that today. And then this is the bag asset sample. So it's a sample that we created for the GTC course. It's a really beautiful purse asset. It has different backdrops, different variants to the leather, which I'll show as well. And it's just a really nice way to showcase the configurator component, but I'll also be showing you how you can create the action graph from scratch to still run in that React kit streaming sample, depending on what you want to do. So these three are what I'll be downloading, or what I have already downloaded. Cool. So first thing I want to show is when you download the Composer streaming settings, I'm going to minimize my browser. I'm actually going to pull open my display capture. Oh my goodness gracious. It was a million of my browsers. So we're going to have this and minimize that for a second. When you download the Composer streamer settings, you will get this zip. If you, hopefully you can read it. It is kind of tiny, but it's this zip folder. And inside the zip is this bat file. You need to copy and paste this bat file into the Composer, into USD Composer. Now I say USD Composer because that's what we used for the sample, because we're using our own sample application. But as long as you have the necessary extensions, which I'll show, then you can run it in any USD application, custom one, a reference application, any of those will work. But we used USD Composer for the purpose of just having this sample running. So you would, copy it, and then you're going to go to your launcher, and you'll have USD Composer. We are using 2023.2.3 for the purpose of this sample. And you need to go into settings. So I'm in my library. I find USD Composer. I'm at the right version of it. See, I have that here, and I click settings. I have USD Composer 2023.2.3, and I'm going to click this right here, this folder, and it's going to open up the USD Composer folder settings. And I'm going to paste that. Well, I guess I should copy it so I can show you what it would look like. Copy. Let's bring that back up. And then I will paste. I already have it in here. I'm gonna, well, I guess it would automatically. Oh no, I already have it in here. So I'm gonna replace it. You're just gonna be pasting it. And then you need to run this one here, USD Composer .streaming.bat. Now that's because it has all of the streaming extensions and it's optimized to run that bag asset, just to ensure that you have everything that you need. So I would double click it. I'm going to run it. I already have it running. So let's minimize that and bring up Omniverse. So I already have it running here. And these is the optimized USD Composer. Why is that so ginormous? Oof. I did not check that before I started streaming. It is huge. Oh, because I was trying to show just the viewport last time I was streaming. Let's get rid of this banner. Y'all know you're watching Learn With Me with Ashley, so I can hide that so you can see everything. Everyone can see it with their solar glasses on. Oh yeah, depending where you are in the United States, solar eclipse is happening, and for me in like an hour. Well, I guess everyone. I live in South Florida, so I'm going to see like half of it. And I don't have solar eclipse glasses. So I like took a cereal box and I like I put like a white piece of paper in the back of the cereal box and I cut out like 2 holes and I made a pinhole camera. So I'm not going to look directly at the sun, but I'll have the sun behind me and I'll be able to see the solar eclipse happening. It's a really cool like cereal box trick you can find on YouTube on how to do it. So really fun thing to do, especially if you got kids, and not stare directly at the sun. Control plus F to center in OBS. Look at you teaching me how to be a professional streamer. Control plus F. Ah, genius. Thank you so much. Perfect. All right. Getting off track as normal. Let me hide all these displays. All right. So let me just show you what the bag asset looks like. So I sorted it into its own little thing, and that was the zip for the sample. And we can just open up bag.usd. It might take a second because these are like I think this one is loading the 1K sample texture, so it's not like massive. You can run the 4K ones if you wanted to, even bigger, but it does take a moment to cache. Do I have the bat file command that doesn't open the Omniverse app locally and just streams it to the web page when we use that for the jacket configurator? So for what I'm showing today, we are going to have Omniverse open because it's going to be using the WebRTC like web streaming. Long-term configuration would be posting it to some kind of cloud service, and then you're running that cloud through the web application. So I'll show kind of how that all works, and then you'll probably have a better idea of what I'm talking about by the end of today, by the end of my stream. All right, so this is the bag. This is what we showed at GTC. It has the graphs already set up. So if we go to OpenGraph, right, I already have all of it ready to go. The message bus is already set up. So you could look at this and be like, okay, cool, I don't need to know anymore, and then run the streaming application, which it's not really what I want to do. I want to show you how you can like create this. And I showed it like 2 streams ago. It's kind of a review if you watched it. But what we need to do first, should I show the streaming application working? Yeah, let's just do that. Why the heck not? So I go into extensions. I'm doing my best to make this as big as possible. You've got the back command that doesn't open goes to Composer app window and just runs it in the browser. We use that in the jack configurator, but I'm unsure if it actually did anything for performance. Oh, for Brickland? For Brickland. Okay, for that one, yeah, you guys, we ran it locally. We did or have access. Huh? We did that when we ran it locally. You did not have access to a GDN instance? I'm not sure what you're saying. I'm sorry. If you don't mind rewording. But okay, so live stream. Whoop, if I could type. So first thing I'm going to want to do is enable the messaging. So I talked about this, was it last live stream? or last week's live stream at some point, I talked about enabling this extension for passing JSON messages to the message bus. So this needs to be enabled. The message bus will work on its own outside of Omniverse. But if you are passing JSON messages from a web application, whether you're using React or anything else, then you need to make sure this is on so that enables the messages passing, the JSON messages passing. So that is turned on. And then what we need to do is turn on the omni.kit.livestream.webrtc setup. So this enables the entire WebRTC client. It'll turn on a bunch of different extensions that you need in order to enable that local streaming. So Omniverse does need to be open for this. What is the Twitch channel? It's NVIDIA Omniverse. All of our channels are NVIDIA Omniverse. Makes it very easy. Twitch, YouTube, X. All right, so I'm gonna turn this on. Omniverse is gonna oh, it doesn't look like it resized because I'm in OBS, but for the purpose of this, Omniverse like automatically resizes to like 1K, so it like automatically goes blop and becomes like a very small screen that I can't make any bigger. But since I'm in OBS, I can make it bigger. Hey, Eric. And that's because it defaults to streaming in 1K. You can toggle some settings. I don't remember what those are. I'd have to get back to y'all on that, but you can toggle it. Maybe in Discord we could talk about it to not limit you to 1K streaming. But for the purpose of this, I'll keep it 1K. And I'm going to go back into my viewport. Cool. And now let's go to VS Code. Let's do the trick. What was it? Control F. Bam. Make it. I love that trick. It's so good. So in my OBS, or in my VS Code, I have my kit streaming sample. So what I did is I opened the folder. So I downloaded that kit streaming sample from the doc page that I shared earlier. And it will be a zip file, and then you can just unzip it. And it's kit streaming sample, GC partner sample, long name for a folder. And you just select that folder. Oh, you can see the stupid folder on OBS. Anyway, open folder and then go find it in your downloads. So make sure you unzip it first. And then it'll open up this. So first thing we need to do before we even get the application up and running is create a new terminal. And this is using React. So React requires Node.js. So you need to install Node.js if you don't have it installed already. I probably should have put that in the reference link. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to put my browser back up on here. And we would just Google Node.js. This, you want to download it, right? So I'll put this in the reference for Learn With Me. Let's add it. You guys can see me adding it in real time. We'll put, this is Node. There you go, Node.js. So you can get the link now. Easy, easy. So download that. That will enable you to download the NPM library, install the NPM library that we need. So hide the browser. I already have Node.js on mine, so I'm going to go to npm install. I'm going to run it. It's going to do all these nice little things. Give that a moment. You'll get some warnings. That's okay. Ignore them. If you want to ask ChatGPT how to install Node.js, Sure. I think ChatGPT, I don't know if, will they give you the link? I have no idea. Good question, but yeah, you can always just Google it. You did not have access to a GDN, which is the graphics delivery network, but we got such a massive performance issues running it in 4K locally, hence the custom bat file. Huh, interesting. Silver Eye, are you Sebastian? I think you are. You can message me on LinkedIn and we can talk about this offline because I'm not quite sure what y'all did specifically. Beep, beep. All right. Did it do it? It did it. Okay. So you'll get some warnings. It'll say deprecated, blah, 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 whatever. We don't care about that. Not a big issue. We have the packages installed. We can actually confirm that because look, it says node modules here. That wasn't there before. That is all of the NPM library stuff that we need. This is all of the content files inside, which we'll look at in just a second. But I'm going to type in npm run dev. And this is going to spin up the localhost. So where's my browser that I had? Okay, so I'm going to click this, control click, and it's going to open up it opened up on a different browser. How dare you do that? Let's do it on this browser. Let's refresh. Is it not going to work because it opened it up on the other one? There we go. It's working its way. Well, I have to share my other browser. I don't want to do that. All right, give me 1 second. Let me figure out why this is not streaming. It should be streaming Omniverse inside of the viewport here, but I think I messed up because I moved browsers and it's not happy with me. Let's X out of both of these. All right, I'm going to kill this with Control C because I'm on Windows, and I'm going to type in W or WY for yes, and then I'm going to run it again. All right, I'm gonna not control click because it wants to default to the browser that I'm running StreamYard on. And let's open up this one and paste it. Omniverse, where are you? Let's double check something. So if you're running into that problem like I am, because I don't know, maybe it's the in private browser issue. Let me just confirm for one that the server is connected, and there's two ways to do that. Let's go to appstream.jsx. That is in the underneath SRC source, and in our at line 50 we have a URL. This is the server URL for where Omniverse is streaming to, and then so we stored it as a constant variable, and then it's called here. So yes, that's correct. And I think it may have to do with an in private browser thing. So let me do a test over on my end. I broke it. That's pretty typical. All right, I'm gonna go back to Omniverse, and I'm gonna go into my extensions, and I'm gonna enable this here, omni.services.streamclient.webrtc. And the reason I'm enable this is it gets me this streaming thing here. So that just enables the menu. And I like using this as a developer because it's like a debugging or troubleshooting or just making sure that it's all connected the right way. So all I did was go streaming and I click it and it automatically copies that URL. So I'm going to go into the browser and go here. And I am having an issue. Internal server. Why? It was working a minute ago. Okay, let's try this. Let's turn it off and then on again. Go to Omniverse. This might crash. So let's see. Off. That turned off the WebRTC client. Turn it back on. Okay, browser backup. Omniverse, why are you being so mean to me? All right, I'm gonna close out of Omniverse. I'm not gonna save the stage. I'm gonna close. No, I'm gonna keep that open. And off screen, I'm gonna run that bat file from my USD Composer. So I think I broke it because when I clicked the URL originally from VS Code, it opened it in my browser that I have StreamYard running on. And I saw Omniverse running, and then I X'd out of it, and then I reopened it in the in-private browser, and then that's when it broke. So I'm wondering if something with that broke it. I don't know. But I'm just going to rerun Omniverse, reopen or re-enable those extensions, and then it might be something on my end because I'm not on VPN, but because maybe I was on VPN before, something's going on. So I'm going to try something on my end that might work. But hopefully anyone also doing this is not running into this issue. That's the fun thing about doing it on a live stream. Live streams, you have to like burn some incense to the live stream gods so that they like you and that you can actually do stuff. Get rid of all these displays that get in my way. All right, let's just enable the extensions. I don't even need to open anything. Live stream. Let's enable the messaging. Let's enable the client. Omniverse resized, so that's running. Haha, I did it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong the first time, but something with like switching it from the other browser messed it up. So I'm actually, this is a web application. As you can see, this is actually running in the web. What did I do right this time? I don't know. Honestly, I don't. Sometimes you just have to turn things off and then back on, which is Xing out of Composer and then restarting it and re-enabling the extensions. I don't know what I did differently. So if you had that problem, hopefully that is your solution as well. So there you go. I got my browser. It's giant because for some reason it is. And I can actually enable or interact with Omniverse in my browser. So you can, here's proof I'm in a browser. And let's X out of the extension. Let's go open up that bag asset. So I'm going to go down to downloads. I am interacting with Omniverse in my browser. Omniverse is open outside of this because I'm running locally. but I can interact it within my browser now. And I'm going to run that bag. Now I'm just going to show you that this application works as is, but I love to know how things work. So I'm going to teach you all why it works. And then when the DLI course is published in the next couple of weeks, there'll be a step-by-step explanation, and then you can come back and reference this video to help move you along. But it's really cool, and I couldn't wait for the DLI course to be published to share this. So I have my graphs already set up and whatnot. I have the extension enabled to pass the JSON messages. Let's go ahead and make this full screen by pressing F7. And let's change my bag to black. Ta-da! Let's change my background to the desk. Ta-da! Or the marble wall, whatever you prefer, right? So this is passing JSON messages from the web application, which is for us, for this sample, using React. You don't have to use React, just whatever application can pass those JSON messages. Passing a JSON message to Omniverse. Omniverse is listening for that event that's being called, which I'll show you in the action graph. And when that event is called, it does something like set the variant selection. I did that a couple streams ago, but let's review it and maybe create one from scratch. So I'm going to open up or just put Omniverse back and press F7. So I have Omniverse here, and I'll show you really quick what it looks like in the bag asset, and then I'll show you how we can make one really fast. So what this is doing, because we enabled that JSON messaging extension, it's giving Omniverse Kit the ability to listen for JSON messages that are being sent out. And then what it does is pass that JSON to the message bus event. That message bus event is looking for the event name, and it's looking for the attribute, and it's looking for whatever is going to be called in the attribute. And then when it receives all of that information, it sends it to this node called set variant selection, and it sets the variant, right? So if we go look at that in VS Code, I see my VS Code. Where are you? There it is. So in window.jsx, if we scroll down, you're more than welcome to look at, what it calls when we, do our selection. But I'm going to show you where the buttons are first. So we'll start from there. And on line, well, it starts at 206. So this is the background. So when we were changing to the desk or the marble wall or the plinths or whatever else we call them, pedestals, here are our buttons. Or for our color, here are the buttons. And we would just add another one of these if we had another variant, like a pink one. And this is when this is selected, it grabs the value, it sends it to here, and it calls this function. This function, if you notice, shares the same event name with that on message bus event. It shares the attribute with the on message bus event, and then the value that is slotted into the attribute that sets the variant is the option or the button, whatever we clicked. So let's go ahead and make one from scratch, not using the bag, so you have an understanding of how you would actually create that on your own. Are the Omniverse cloud services coming later using full OV in the same way? So we have announced that we are going to have our core APIs, our cloud APIs. So over time, when those are released, you can use your own cloud service to run Omniverse using those APIs. At the moment, a long-term solution, so you're not running a local streaming option, is to have the graphics delivery network. That's the GDN instance. So that's NVIDIA's cloud service. It's made for games, so it's optimized to not decimate any part of your scene. You can run millions and millions of polygons in your scene. And so that would be your long-term solution. But I just want to show you this local solution so that you can start developing and getting ready for those APIs to be integrated at a later time. This is using the streaming API right now, and there'll be a more optimized version coming out later. So you won't have to use like USD Composer. You can use your own reference application, your own USD application. Let's minimize that. Let me create a new scene. File, new, don't save. Now, I'm just going to make such a basic scene. Create a cube. And, right, let's, we could use a material. Any preference on material that we want to use? I feel like I use car paint all the time because it's just the first ones I see, but I want to use something different. We're going to change the color just to make it, just to kind of keep it simple. Let's do gold. Do we have just a simple gold? Got tiger skin gold. That looks cool. Polyester charmeuse. Gold sheet. Gold, green, purple. Oh, this uses like 3 different colors. I love to overcomplicate things. Here we go, gold. Boom. Gold cube. All right, so I have my gold cube. I'm going to do this kind of fast because I already did a live stream on creating and editing variants, which you can refer back to if you're on Omniverse. There's like in the description, it says like previous live streams or previous Learn With Me streams. You can click that and find it. But I'm just going to go to edit variants. And I'm going to create a new variant set. Oh, wait, that's not what I want to edit variants on. Psych. I'm going to remove that variant set. Delete. I want to do it on the material because I'm editing the variants of the material, but the material is binded to the cube. New variant set. Let's call this variant set. Let's call it colors. And we're going to select the shader for the prim. If you remember from that live stream, we're editing the shader. And when we're editing the shader, we are, oh Lord. Is this shader special? Oh shoot. This shader is a payload. It's pointed in from some source asset. I don't think we can use it. Darn. You know what? So the reason that we can't use this is because it's pulling in from like a URL. Uh-oh, my dog might start barking. If it does, I'm going to mute myself for a second. We haven't had a live stream in a while where my dogs go nuts. So, okay. I'm going to have to use a different one. So since it's pulling from a URL, it's not giving me all the properties, and I'm looking for like the base color properties. So sorry, Zia, you had a great idea with gold, but unfortunately it's not an option. I'll just show you how I can do it on a regular Omni PBR. So I'm going to create my own PBR, go into material, Omni PBR. I'm going to go into my shader. What is happening? What is this? This is bananas. What is going on? For some reason, it's not showing me. all the properties for the shader. I think I've discovered something about this streaming app. Let's try car paint. Ooh. So I'm wondering if this is a issue because I'm running that custom USD composer, that bat file that I showed earlier. I think this is an issue because we are having it point to a library, like a local library. I'm going to note this because we got to change that. You should be able to edit the properties. I think let's go look at the bag asset. We might have to use not the custom version of USD Composer. This is why I need to build my own app. I need to call it the Learn With Me Omniverse app. Let's look at the configurable assets. Okay, that's odd. These are referencing an AWS bucket. Why are these ones, why are custom Omniverse Omni PBRs not? They're referencing the local MDL and I don't have it saved. What if I create one in here? All right. So, solution for now. If you want to use, if you want to just look at the bag asset, cool, you can use that custom bat file, but let's scratch that. Let's X out of this. Goodbye, Omniverse custom USD Composer. And let's launch. No, not that one. Oh, shoot, I hit the wrong button. You guys can see what I'm doing, but I hit the wrong button. Look at this beautiful black screen for now. Gorgeous, amazing pit. Okay, so what you need to do in order to do this in a custom way until I fix that sample is USD Composer, because unless you're using your own custom app, if you want to use a reference application, it's USD Composer 2023.2.5. It's the latest release of the sample application. Goal this week is make my own app. Yes, I was looking for the properties for the shader and not just the material. I'm running that custom bat file from the, here, I'll show you. Instead of just having my face in a black screen. What I was trying to do, where is it? This one here. When you download this, you're given a custom bat file. That is something that we created. It's using the reference application, USD Composer. I call it a reference application because it's meant to show as an example, so I'll keep saying it that way. It's a reference application. We created a custom version so that we could showcase the bag asset. And to optimize that bag asset, we didn't want all of the materials from AWS to be loaded in at the same time so that the bag could run as fast as possible, right? The problem with that is if you're trying to use that to create your own version, now we're seeing issues, or what I just discovered is that when you create a material, you don't see all the properties for the material. That's okay. I don't want it that way. I think you should be able to use it to also create your own scenes, but we'll do that for the DLI course. So instead, I'll just show you in the latest release of the sample application, which is 2023.2.5. Okay. Hopefully I haven't lost too many of you. All right. 2023.2.5. This allows me to create the Omni PBR and have all of my properties. That's what I was looking for. For some reason, it was trying to find it somewhere else that didn't exist, unfortunately. And now I can create my cube. And I'm going to throw my Omni PBR onto the cube. And I'm going to create, I'm so sick of red, green, and blue. I'm going to do, I really liked Zia's idea of gold. Gold is like more dark, right? That's kind of gold enough. And the reason that I'm using this version of the sample app is because it has the latest releases of those extensions that I was referring to. So if I go into extensions and I go and type in what I wanted to, right? Live stream. I have my messaging extension and I have my WebRTC setup extension. So that's why I am switching to this version. All right. Now I need to create the action graph. So I'm going to go to create, and I'm going to go into visual scripting, and I'm going to click action graph. And we need, oh, I didn't create variants. So yeah, I have my action graph, but that's not good until I create variants. So I go into the material and I click edit variants and I add a new variant set. And I'm going to call this colors. And I'm targeting the shader. This is what I was trying to do before, but my properties weren't there. Select, add property. That's what I'm looking for, the base color. And I turn off my local opinion. If you remember from last Wednesday's live stream where I talked about strength ordering, I want my variant opinion to be the strongest. So I'm going to turn that off. And I have my gold color. For some reason, it looks more like, no, I guess it's gold. It looks kind of green on my screen. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to call this first one, gold. Call this second one. I was going to call it Paris Hilton pink, but I'm going to keep it simple. Let's call it pink. And let's switch to, let's do like a nice light pink. You can see it changes, right? So I switch between my variants. I've got gold and I've got this light pink. So I have two variants. And if I go into tools and I go to variant presenter, I can see them here. Right? So now I can go into my action graph, and in my node library, I'm going to do set variant selection, pull it out. I'm going to target my material, and I'm going to target the colors variant. I'm going to leave this blank because my buttons on my web page are going to set this, but I am going to make sure that this is toggled on so that it is set to true, and it will set the variant when an action is executed. That action is message bus, right? So I type in message, and oh, I don't need to do that yet. First thing, I'm going to set the event name. I'm going to change the event name to prove to you that this web application is talking to this specific message bus, right? So let's call this one colors cube colors. Yay. And I'm going to add an attribute. This attribute, I will just have it be, now casing is really important for this. So I'll call it cube colors. I'll just keep it cube colors like that. And it needs to be a token. And it's a regular token, not an array token, a regular token. Click that, click OK. Now I can connect my noodles. So you see how these match, right? That's because they connect. Blop. And then cube colors is going to set the variant name. So those two match. See how they're the same color? This one's a token. This one's looking for a token. Okay. Now let's go into my browser again. And where are you, browser? This one. Let's reload. Omniverse is here, right? I can see I can interact with Omniverse. This is the message bus I just created. But if I try to click anything, nothing's happening because they don't match, right? This is not what it's looking for. So let's go back and let's go into VS Code. And let's change this. Well, we have to change the select color one. I don't have background, so we can just leave that as it is. And what do we call it? We called it cube colors. Yay. And casing is very important. So I did capital C, cube colors, yay, like that. And then the attribute was cube colors with camel casing. So it was cube colors like that. And then our options, we need to change. We don't have white and black. We have pink and gold. So we'll do that. I'll have pink be the first one. Doesn't matter what order they're in. Oh, all caps, because it looks better on our page. Gold. Okay. Let's save. Browser up. Look, pink and gold are here. Now I need to refresh. To bring Omniverse back, let's F7 to make it full viewport. And let's switch to pink. Uh-oh, did I break it? I broke it. Let's go back to VS Code. I saved it, didn't I? Pink, gold. Now it shouldn't matter. Where's leathers being called? There it is. What do we call it? I don't think this makes a difference, but maybe it does. I don't remember it making a difference. We called it colors. Okay, so that matches. Refresh. Let's click pink. Oh. I have that extension enabled, don't I? Extensions. Live stream. I have the messaging enabled. Let's do a quick test. Keyboard input. change it to, nope, let's change it to J. And we need, what do we call it? Cube colors. It's a token. And let's do constant token. This is a way to debug. Let's change it to pink. Pressed. Cube colors. The event name is cube colors. Oops. Okay. And on J, it'll send the message. Nope. Oh, look at that. See? I have only simulate on play selected. I need to uncheck that. There we go. That's why. Little things like that. Really, really, really important. So I'll show you again. In my on message bus event, I know you can't see my mouse right now for some reason, but this here where it says only simulate on play, I had it checked. So that means that I need the simulation playing all the time. Wrong. Make sure that is off. Okay. Let's go back to my browser. Let's type in, let's hit gold. Yay, it works. Cube colors, yay, it works. That one thing, see, you have to like go back through and do your debugging to check it out and like check your nodes. So now I'm using that kit streaming sample. All I did was change my event to match the event that I had created in Omniverse. I'm using the USD Composer reference application 2023.2.5 until I can fix that sample one. But you can use the sample one because it's optimized for the bag asset. So if you're just trying to show this off and see how it works and play around with it and not really creating anything custom, you can use that one, or you can use any custom application you can make on your own. But I think the lesson that I've taken for myself today is I need to make my own Omniverse application specifically for Learn With Me, and it has only the extensions that I'm using all the time. And then when I want to add a new extension, I can just go into my dependencies and I can add a new extension. That's a whole nother, we should do that on a Learn With Me, obviously. I've been wanting to make my own custom application, and I was like, what should I make it for? And now I know, for a Learn With Me stream. So we're not flip-flopping back and forth. And what is Omniverse supposed to be? I am so glad I'm able to answer this so much better than I was a year ago. Omniverse is a digital twins platform for OpenUSD. Primarily, people use it to run simulations since it has the physics engine. A lot of big companies use it to run their factories before they're built, like Siemens did it to use our APIs to show their HD Hyundai big cargo boat and be able to build that digitally before they deployed it in the real world. Amazon is using it to help simulate their robotics before they're deployed in their factories. A lot of people are using it to build tools that help them with those certain simulations. Some people are using it in the creative way, and with switching to APIs, there'll be a lot more extensive applications that you can use it to. So that'll be really fun. Hopefully that answers your question. Can you turn off F7 in a production app to stop users breaking out of the website and accessing OV directly? So what you would want to do, this is a really good question. Instead of running all of Omniverse Kit, you would just have the viewport. And when we are switching to our core APIs, the core APIs allow you to select which parts of Omniverse Kit you want to use. If you want to just run the viewport, then all you have to do is just call that part of the API. So you would literally just have this, and there would be no F7 for them to click. They would just be the viewport. And then all of the underlining technology that you also want to run. The purpose of running it locally like this is for demo purposes. So if you have like a customer that you want to show them very quickly how their configurator looks, then, or whatever else you're using Omniverse for, then you could run it locally through a VM and always have that VM spun up. So when you're running the demo, they have access to it. Or long-term solution is running it through the cloud. And again, you can just run the viewport. You don't have to run all of these different extensions. And that's the purpose of the USD Composer. It's just a reference application. So it shows you all of the different technology that Omniverse Kit has, and you can pick and choose what you want, right? I don't want to use the asset browser or the asset store, so I'm not going to have that in my application. I don't want my users to mess with render settings, so I'm going to set my render settings within my BAT file, and it's not going to be available for users to mess with in my custom application. So there's all different things that you can pick and choose and build on your own. And I'm running out of time. Hopefully this was helpful. I really hope that you guys do use the configurator sample for at the very least checking out the kit streaming sample. I'm going to link the reference, the Learn With Me resources again. So because this was a little bit of a long stream and maybe you missed it. So again, if you want to, oh, my mouse is lost. There we go. Open up the doc, go to the sample, and at the very least, download the kit streaming sample. That gives you the VS Code repo. Make sure you have Node.js installed. Run npm install. Let the packages load or download. npm run dev. Edit the, where is it? Edit your VS Code according to your event. I'll show it again, right? Well, that's the backdrop one. This is the ones that I messed with now, and make sure you're enabling those extensions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The DLI course for how to build this step by step that I taught at GTC is coming. It is April 8th right now. Hopefully it's here by the end of the month. Fingers crossed that everything goes well and we can publish it then. And then you'll just have this video that I did today as a way to get you unstuck if you get stuck at any point. Cool. I'll be back on Wednesday. I'm going to be showing how we can switch render types using just Python, which will be great for when we switch to our core APIs. So you'll have those Python calls, so you can switch between RTX real-time, interactive path tracing, blah, 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 whatever you want. Good stuff. We'll keep it nice and short on Wednesday as well. Make it easy for you. See you all then. Thanks for watching. Bye.